Is that a different kind of leadership, or does it require a next generation of leaders who are able and willing to tell the story? Or have you so much trust and faith in our current leaders that you think they will do it also?
Well, both. But
No?
I think the real answer is to get rid of the stock market. Frankly, I think the stock market is utterly destructive. Utterly destructive. Another story talks about an entrepreneur who builds a company up and then does an IPO and ends up on the stock market and suddenly discovers that all the sharks are after him all the time. And no matter how much more he produces or she produces, they got to keep doing more. And eventually you run out of ideas, you run out of ways to keep doing things. And so you start playing games. You con your customers, you form monopolies or cartels. There's so much of this going on, and it's driven by this more of the stock market. And we could do better instead of more. I wouldn't like to be the chief executive of Apple today because $1 trillion is not enough for the stock market.
No.
It's not as if the stock market is going to say, well, good, you reached $1 trillion, take a rest, it's fine. No, they want more. What's that going to do to Apple? You'll watch and see.
So less shareholder value and more world citizen value or worldly value, as you call it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if corporations died of heart attacks instead of cancers. In other words, when they're just past the top and they're getting kind of starting to show sickness, it would be nice if they disappeared instantly instead of these slow, agonizing deaths through, in the case of at least one American automobile company, 2 bankruptcies where they were bailed out by the government. 2. How long until the third one?
So you're in favor of family businesses who are not in the stock market and communities and little organizations like that?
Well, it doesn't have to be little. I mean, there are family businesses that are huge. I like the idea of family businesses not only, but because there tends to be more of a sense of communityship in many of those organizations. And some of them are smart enough to keep the wolves of Wall Street at bay, keep them away. And the interesting case, Tata is the biggest company in India, and the voting shares are controlled by family trusts. Same thing in Denmark. Most of the major Danish companies, like Carlsberg and so on, are controlled by independent trusts. So they can tell the stock market to go to hell because they've got a different kind of governance. I think that's healthy.
They have more long-term.
But the problem with family enterprises, of course, is succession. Because a lot of entrepreneurs are dumb enough to think that because they're smart, their children must be smart. Or not just smart, but good business people. And often, the entrepreneurs were good business people precisely because they got raised in different kinds of families than their children were raised. And so their children don't necessarily have that. I call it Russian roulette with 5 bullets. In other words, 1 chance in 6 that you're not going to put a bullet in your head. When you appoint your child as your successor.
Okay.
With these family trusts, they can let the children run the trusts and let someone else run the company.